Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Simply Sports Talk. Today, we're going to be talking about a pretty touchy topic, a topic that's been on my mind for the past few weeks. And today, we're going to be talking about the Jaguars draft. Yesterday was the NFL draft, and as everyone knows, the Jaguars had the #1 pick. And going into this draft, if you followed me, you would see me in the comments of many Jaguar pages getting into arguments over who should be the first pick. Commonly, you would see, I would say Aiden Hutchinson, and some would say Hakeem, and some would say Evan, and some would say Trayvon Walker. I was so against the Trayvon Walker pick, as I was thinking we're rebuilding. We need to win when Trevor is on his rookie deal. So I was against it. I was like, it's going to take this guy 2 to 3 years to get good. And by that time, Trevor will be on his 5th-year option. So why not take Aiden Hutchinson, who's a guaranteed good player who will potentially be special? Now, I still believe Aiden Hutchinson will be a special player, but going into this draft, I really wanted Aiden Hutchinson. I really wanted Aiden Hutchinson. I didn't want Trayvon Walker at all. And I know this page, Duval Mafia, if you followed him and you saw me, you would constantly see me getting in arguments with people for hours over who should be the first pick, why, and this and why. And initially, I was an Evan Neal fan, but then I heard reports that they said he lacks footwork, and that gave me concerns. And when what we did in the offseason, it made sense of, okay, we're going with an edge player. It makes sense. We didn't address the one need that we have in the offseason, which was edge. Now, coming into this draft, I was very high on Aiden Hutchinson, and I wasn't sure about Trayvon Walker. As, yes, he had the athleticism, the tools, but I felt like we had a player just like that, K'Lavon Chaisson. He's an athletic player. He has, I won't say as many tools as Walker. Walker is taller, Walker's stronger, Walker's faster, Walker has longer arms. Yes, all that. But if K'Lavon Chaisson had pass rush moves, he would be a really good football player. Now, Trayvon Walker doesn't have pretty much any pass rush moves. He lacks a lot of the technique, and the Jaguars have this belief that we'll be able to teach him and we'll mold him, and he'll potentially be some have compared him to Khalil Mack. Now, when watching this draft, I wasn't really too surprised. I wasn't surprised with the first pick. I had reports that Trent Baalke liked Trayvon Walker, Doug Marrone liked Hakeem and Shad Khan liked Aiden Hutchinson. And I was thinking, I remember that year that the Cowboys had a pick in the middle of the first round, and it was very well known that Jerry Jones wanted CeeDee Lamb. So what happened in the draft? They got CeeDee Lamb. Hearing that Shad Khan wanted Aiden Hutchinson made me think, okay, Trent Baalke is our general manager. And then I saw that reports saying that they were going to meet on Wednesday. And I was thinking to myself, maybe there's a chance that he'll override him, as he is the owner of the team. Maybe there's a chance he'll override him and he'll just decide we're going Aiden Hutchinson, sort of like what Jerry Jones did with CD. We're going CD. Unfortunately, that wasn't the case. Well, I won't say unfortunately, as initially with the pick, I wasn't very happy. When we first picked Trayvon Walker, I didn't really get too excited, or I wasn't nervous before the pick. I kind of expected it. I was holding on to a slither of hope that maybe we'll take Aiden Hutchinson, but generally I was thinking we're going to take Trayvon Walker. So when taking Trayvon Walker, I was a bit upset. I was a bit upset, as I for weeks was arguing Aiden Hutchinson, and it was a bit frustrating to see a man who was the consensus pick from the time the season ended to the last 5 days. He just randomly was no longer the consensus pick. I mean, Vegas had Trayvon Walker pass him up in the odds, and I got really concerned. But I was thinking maybe there's a chance that they're off, but usually Vegas is right. But the problem with this was I felt like it was a big ask. It was a big ask to tell the man, we're picking you, put that much expectation on him. We're picking you first, but even though you don't have the moves and techniques yet, we expect you to develop. And K'Lavon Chaisson, I wish we would have went Justin Jefferson. However, he was the 20th pick in the draft. He wasn't the first pick. This was the first pick. This was the first pick. With the 20th pick, you have some expectations as your first round pick, but with the first pick, you have a lot of expectations on your back. Like, you have a lot of expectations on your chest. Also, with there only being 4 players in history drafted first at edge, that's a big expectation. Myles Garrett, he's one of the best pass rushers in the league, and then there were 2 others in the past who were drafted first. So this is such a big expectation to ask of Trayvon Walker. When you look at his college years, he wasn't asked to be an edge rusher, go get sacks and pressure the quarterback. He played many roles. He put in different gaps, the A gap, the B gap. He played a little bit over tackle. You know, he was more of an all-around, like someone said, Swiss Army knife. And now we're the Jaguars drafting him and expecting him to come in, and now he's going to be a pass rusher like Aiden Hutchinson, just more athletic. And I was like, that's a big ask. That's a big expectation to ask him to switch his game up completely from Georgia to Jacksonville. But the Jaguars opted to draft him, so we'll see what happens. I'm not mad at the pick. I'm just gonna see and let it play out. I'm gonna see and let it play out. Now, as the draft went on, I saw teams like the Lions, they got Aiden Hutchinson. Then they moved up to get Jameson Williams. And then I saw the Giants, they took Kayvon Thibodeau and Evan Neal. I thought that was golden. I saw the Jets, they took Sauce Gardner and Garrett Wilson. Maybe the two best players at their positions for the draft. Like, it was so interesting to see other teams just flourishing with these picks of the best players. Like, they described this draft as not very top heavy. There's no really superstars in this. But there's guys who could be superstars and there are guys who could be stars, but it's a very deep draft. There's a lot of quality players in this draft, more than usual. It had a lot of depth, as they would say. And as the draft went on, I was getting a little concerned, a little upset, because I saw what the Lions did, and I was thinking, God, I wish that was what we did. We drafted Aiden Hutchinson and went and got Jameson Williams for a #1 receiver, so we could put him next to Trevor, or give him a toy for Trevor, but we didn't do that. And so I was a little bit concerned, like, what are the Jaguars doing? I remember Trent Baalke saying we might trade into the first round. And I was thinking, Trent Baalke, we need to get Trevor that #1 receiver. And so when we traded into the first round again, I was really excited. My heart was pumping. I was very nervous. I was like, who are we going to pick? Who are we going to pick? And then we drafted Devin Lloyd. Now, I'll give you my initial thoughts. I was like, who? But I wasn't really upset because it was a linebacker. This was before I did the research. I wasn't upset because it was a linebacker. I was upset because I wanted a receiver really bad. Maybe the Jaguars have a plan. Today is day 1. Day 2, they could have a plan. We have 2 third-round picks. We may trade up into the top 5, top 10 of the second round and get a #1 receiver for Trevor. I'm not sure what the game plan is. However, when they skipped on Christian Watson and when they skipped on George Pickens, I was very concerned. I was like, oh my, Green Bay and Kansas City Chiefs are right behind us. They're going to take those guys. And surprisingly enough, they did it. But initially, I was concerned. I was like, why did we trade up just to get a linebacker? But then I did the research, and I was excited. I was extremely excited for this young man. He's the best linebacker in the draft, no question. And Kobe Dean might have had the better season, but I believe this guy's significantly better. I mean, he's 6'3", he's 5'11". It's a big gap. That's a big gap. And they're both extreme athletes. They're both freaks, but you can't teach 5'11". You can't teach 6'3". That's just a gap that Kobe Dean can't close. And they're saying, oh, they'll get a steal in the second round for Kobe Dean, which they probably will. He'll probably be a hell of a player, but I do think Devin Lloyd will be better than him in the league. He's 6'3". I mean, you can't teach that. And I did the research and I looked at film and I saw, oh my, this guy might be special. This guy might be special. This guy is really good. This guy is the best in the class. He's really, really good. He's a playmaker, fast, big, long. He can rush the passer. They were saying he's Bobby Wagner. They were saying he's Micah Parsons. I was thinking, jeez, man, how was his PFF? And he had a 90 PFF grade. And I was like, oh my, jeez, did the Jaguars just get a major steal? And sure enough, later on, today. That was yesterday. This is today. Today, we saw draft steals were Devin Lloyd. And, I mean, it was warranted. Devin Lloyd was on Joel Klatt's top 10. He was the number 8th ranked player by Joel Klatt, saying this is the 8th best player in the draft. And we got him at 27. That's the definition of getting a steal. This guy will be a great Jaguar. That's the difference between Walker and Devin Lloyd. Walker seems to have the higher ceiling, but Devin Lloyd will be good day 1. Day 1, he's coming in and he's going to produce. I believe you don't need elite linebackers anymore, but having a really good one is definitely something you should keep. Definitely something you should need. And also, with losing Miles Jack and seeing the linebacker room, I was thinking this linebacker room is kind of weak. You can't be great in every area, but it's a bit weak. And to see us get Devin Lloyd to fill that gap and to fill that hole, I was actually pretty excited after doing the research and looking more into it. But that was my thoughts on day 1. Day 2, I will be watching the draft, and we'll see what the Jaguars do. Hopefully, we can get a receiver, a #1 receiver, and maybe an interior lineman or just a #1 receiver. I'll be fine with either or. But thank you for watching the video. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. This is Simply Sports Talk signing out. Bye.